Telecom.
Morning, and thank you, Craig, for having me.
Thank you, Ernest. Do the same thing that I asked Gopal to start with. Give people who don't know your company very well the quick 1-minute version of how big you are and successful you are, and I'll swear to it, they're very successful and very big. So go ahead.
We're not as big as Gopal's company, obviously, because our country is about 1/10 of the size of India. But the Philippines is 110 million people. Globe is the leading mobile operator with about a 55% share of the market. That is something we're proud of because we came from a 33% share not too long ago. We rose to #1 when we were 2016. We're the third player when it comes to fiber broadband in the Philippines with a 17% share, and the second player in terms of enterprise with a 38% share. But one other thing that we do quite well at Globe, Craig, is go to adjacencies. And one of those things that we built and we're very proud of is the mobile money wallet called GCash we built, which dominates payment in the Philippines. We account for over 90% of the digital payments in the country today with about 94 million users across all networks in the Philippines. And we move about 1 trillion pesos a month today in terms of money value in that platform. So that's been the focus of Globe over the last few years.
And you answered part of what I was about to comment on. You're a very advanced services company. You're known for that. Your reputation is positive in that area. But you have not, let me be fair, you have embraced 5G, but you have been quite deliberative. Can you talk about the narrative around your strategy on 5G in the country?
Well, 5G, like with anything else we do, we were the first to roll it out in the country. We have a coverage of about 94, 95% population have 5G, although albeit a thin layer in terms of capacity because the demand isn't there. Filipinos usually will change their devices when they see a need for it. We are not a rich country by any means. We're a low ARPU regime in the country. And so today, like Cristiano was saying, handsets are still quite expensive in the $200 range. However, that chipset holds a lot of promise at $99. If you can really produce a smartphone with 5G capability, running standalone type of capabilities at $99, it's going to be very, very encouraging. So what we've done is just blanket the country with the thin coverage of 5G, and then let's see what happens. I think as Gopal was saying, this is the first time that, the telcos are ahead in terms of capacity and speed over the application. And the applications still have to catch up. There is still nothing that the consumers need to be able to justify the use of 5G at the moment.
And what is your view on enterprises and 5G? Are you more hopeful than you are in the consumers taking it up? And what period of time do you view that for your company?
Again, I agree with what Matt is saying. 4G was a consumer-led use case. Because of the esoteric quality of the different 5G attributes, I think it's going to take some more time before the enterprises in the Philippines do adopt this. Right? The need for lower latency, and the need for slicing, and of course the different things that advanced brings are not even in the mindset of our companies in the Philippines. Philippine enterprises are usually late adopters of many technologies. They are just, as you know, moving into the cloud right now, right? They just recently adopted a slew of cybersecurity applications only because of need. And, so it's going to take time for us to convince them to use 5G. Now, AI could be the big potential here. When you have AI and it's running on the edge, you're computing and asking a machine, you can't wait 30 seconds for an answer, right? So the movement of data in and out, through the mobile device or whatever, the wireless network, I think will be critical. Speed will be critical, latency will be critical. So we'll see how that develops over time.
How does a company like yours focus on AI? Where does it do its research? Because you're obviously not sitting there with thousands of people doing research. So how do you, as the head of the company and your senior team, look at this kind of new technology?
Well, Globe, we've never pushed ourselves as a developer of technology, but I think what we are great at is using technology to solve problems, right? And for AI, I think the problems we're going to be solving first are our internal problems. Over the past 10 years, our growth has been quite fast. We've been doing many things, and like what Gopal was saying,
Yes.
the telcos tend to lag
Yeah.
in doing its own digitization efforts and its own automation efforts. I am very optimistic and encouraged that AI can bring about a whole slew of automation initiatives for us. You know, for instance, in our mobile money wallet, once again,
Yes, please.
we are loaning people very small amounts of money in a very automated fashion with no human intervention. Imagine I have to use a call center to collect that. That would be impossible. So we're using a large language model, Filipino, now using AI voices to kind of collect the loans in an automated fashion, and it's been yielding great results. So it's just one example of how we can do things, right? There's many more examples in that area in fintech where we can do it in credit scoring, right, as well. You know, so we can create multiple algorithms, multiple models in AI that can score a person and on whether he's credit worthy or not, without even seeing him, without even knowing who he is, just simply looking at his data profile. Right?
So that's a little contrary to what Gopal said in a small way, in that he was talking about the efficiencies that he views, but I think your use case, to me, sounds less an issue of efficiency and more of how you can actually drive more take-up.
That's
that
true
right?
for the fintech side
For
of our
fintech
business,
side.
which was cloud native and grew up in the cloud and grew up in the new world of technology. The telco is very similar to what Gopal said. It's an efficiency-led thing. Customer care, HR processes, legal, for instance, all can use AI very effectively because today they are horribly manual, I have to say.
Yes, yes. Well, when you hear a lot of the talk of 5G and AI, and GTI is focused on that, I wouldn't call you a contrarian, but you're in a different spot in the business model of the industry. You're in an emerging market, very different from a lot of the countries that get much more publicity. How do you deal with that? Does that it's not that you have to be contrarian, it's just that you have to be very realistic. Is that right?
Absolutely. And that's why we've toned down our rollout pace for 5G, you know, waiting for the demand to come, while we continue to bolster 4G capabilities and capacity at the moment. You know, again, we're waiting for the use case. You know, during the 4G era, actually, we used that disruption of 3G to 4G to become number one. You know, use case after use case was coming. We led the country in introducing streaming video, social media, search, streaming music, and other use cases that needed the 4G speeds. And people did see the benefit and immediately, you know, gravitated to our brand, gravitated to the new technology. But that is the struggle we're finding today. There is not that one single case that we can tell people, go to 5G, use up more data, and drive up our revenue growth once again.
Yes.
You know, so we're in a wait-and-see mode. Like with most of these things, we all said before, right? 100 Mbps was too much and we'll never use it.
Yeah.
Today, it's the standard for home broadband.
Yeah.
So I think one day it'll also get there.
Well, I think it's very important for some of my colleagues to hear your message. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to invite you, because it isn't that it's contrary, but GTI needs to help people like you find those use cases, promote those use cases, and there's so many that are coming out of China and some of the other areas, some of our active board members. So I think that's an obligation we have to better serve companies like yours to provide more information.
And that's really good to hear because really, you know, it's not that 5G is not good. 5G is fantastic, right? And it even provides a lower cost of delivery per gig, which is what we love about it, right? But again, we got to give the public, our consumer public, the right impetus to move technologies with us, right? Because no matter how much we build of this thing, if no one's using it, you know, then it's going to be for naught, right? And of course, as you know, with technology, the later you wait, the less expensive it becomes to deploy.
Yes.
Right? And so we're taking a very, very practical approach to the deployment of 5G.
I want to thank you very much for delivering the message you did today. Thanks, Ernest.
Thank you, Craig.